What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about a new rumor regarding Pirates 6 and Johnny Depp. And to be honest with you, this is really the first one that is a massive positive. Now, depending on how you read it, it could go very, very badly. It comes from the same person that's really talked about this thing for a very long time, and Daniel RPK. I've actually mentioned him in the past. He once said there were 10 Pirates of the Caribbean projects happening, and obviously we haven't really gotten that, but he does, and not necessarily like Pirates related, but just movies and that kind of information. Extremely good. And like I said, this is one of the more positive updates. So here's what he said. Disney is reportedly considering having Johnny Depp back as Captain Jack Sparrow, but for a supporting role in Pirates of the Caribbean. There was another post, because he put this behind the Patreon paywall, okay? So no way of doing it unless you pay for it. I'm not about to do that. However, there was a different post from just a different, culture kind of account that said they're interested, like they're flat out interested. So the tweets, some of the wording kind of depends on which tweet you're reading, but it definitely sounds like, right, no matter which one you're reading, that they're interested or they're considering, or, whichever word you kind of want to put in there. That's pretty big. There's two different parts to this, right? There's the part that they would have him back at all, and that's very, very exciting. And there's more to it that we'll talk about in a second. Supporting role. I want to start there, right? Because I think a lot of eyes, and honestly, when I saw this tweet, I saw, like, my eyes literally glossed over supporting role. Didn't think too much about it. When I saw the tweet again, I was like, ooh, okay, so they're very direct in what they would actually want of him, in this movie. Now, call me, I guess, whatever you want. I'm gullible. Probably that's the word. I'm willing to give them this if all of this stuff comes together. I think you can still make it work, and here's why. Supporting role. We've talked about this before, actually, in my Pirates coverage. He actually might work best in a supporting role. You look at, now they didn't use him right in 5, right? And he's talked about that he had to rewrite a lot of the lines. He was very, very unhappy with the script of 5. And so the one we got wasn't even all that good, and that was with revisions. But I will say, if you put him in a similar role in 5, that you had him in 5, in 6, I actually think that would be quite fine. The roles in all were kind of split in Pirates 5, right? Like, there was no, and maybe that was kind of an issue with it, there was no real main character. Like, Karina and Henry were the closest ones to it, but then Barbossa comes in and Jack comes in, and you're trying to split it, between all of them. Again, I think it could have worked better if it was just an overall, better movie, but his time on screen was not actually a problem with me in 5. And in fact, I always say 3 is my favorite, right? 3 I truly believe is the best Pirates movie. 3 is split between like 30 characters. Now, he is a very centralized role, but I would argue Elizabeth is the main character of that movie. Will is a huge part of it. You got Davy Jones. You get so many freaking characters in Pirates 3. I love it for that reason. Jack is not in every single scene. I don't know if you would call that a supporting role. I think his role in 5 was more supporting versus, or if you contrast that with 4, we always talk about 4, I actually think 4 might be one of, if not his best performances as Jack Sparrow, but the entire movie was him. And I actually think that didn't work for the movie because there was really nothing else going on, and the supporting cast was probably the weakest it had ever been at that point, right? So, you can make it all about him, but that didn't really work either. I'm okay with it. So I kind of just wanted to start there because one thing I guess I'm not for, right? When I hear supporting role, I hear like a secondary character. So, but like when you see like the poster and you have all their names, his name would be up there, right? But on like a call sheet, he's not like number 1 or number 2. Maybe he's 3, 4, 5, right? That's how honestly I would see supporting role. Now, if supporting role means that they're going to just like kick him in the, kick him when he's down, make him a laughing stock. Now, he can be funny, but that's not what I mean, right? Making him just this loser, which they already did in 5, so let's please not do that again. That is not what I would accept. I wouldn't accept supporting role in the sense that in their minds maybe they can then again hit him when he's down, or supporting role in the way of would he be in the movie for like 5 minutes. That is See, when I hear supporting role, that's not necessarily what I think, and it's absolutely not what I would want. So as long as that doesn't happen, I think you can be the 4th or 5th main character, right? And you're below 3, 4, 5 other people. I think that's fine. I think you can have plenty of screen time. I think you can have an impact. I think you could be one of the best characters, in that situation. If it means that you're in it for 5 minutes, if it means that you're just kind of a glorified cameo, that is absolutely not what I would take. So but I will throw this in. Would he even do that? I actually have seen that, on Twitter, where it's like, well, a couple things, and this goes to the other side of it, right at the beginning. Okay, Disney's interested. Well, good for Disney, but as we've talked about many times, it's all about what he says. It's all about what he wants. And the way I'm looking at it is, if they are saying, to these inside, however this is getting out, if they're saying they're interested, I do think a deal can be reached. I think if they believe that there's absolutely no chance, they're not even thinking this. Does that make sense? That's really kind of where I'm at. So I think even just the idea that they are more on the yes side, because remember, it was always kind of 50-50. It always sounded more like, well, maybe, but maybe not. Then it was also kind of like, nah, they really don't have any interest. It's always been that side of things. Now it's like if you have like a meter and there's a 50-50, it actually seems like it's more on the yes side, where, again, if you're interested, if you're considering it, again, I don't think, they could just be idiots, right? The upper management, where they're like, yeah, it's maybe we should have him back, but now we have to go and convince him, and that's probably not going to go over well. I'm hoping that just them thinking about it and kind of wanting it means that they're pretty confident that they can actually get him back. But, again, as we always say, it all depends on him. If I were him, I'd want like a massive, like an actual public apology so everybody sees it. And, we've kind of always said that, right? But ultimately, as I have said in the past too, if they genuinely apologize, if he genuinely accepts it and says, hey, we're good, right? I would take him on his word. I think that's like the biggest thing we can take away, from what happened in that court case. I think if he were to come out and say, hey, we talked about it, we're cool, I would believe him, because I think he's at a point in his life where he's not going to do this unless he actually wants to, unless he actually feels, good about it. So I would feel okay and all that. But again, to the glorified cameo thing, to the making him a laughingstock in a negative way, right? Would he do that? Would he, after all that they've done against him, then they come up to him and say, hey, it's a supporting role, so you're not the lead, but you're still gonna be in a pretty good amount. He says, okay, you're not gonna pitch him, hey, you're in it for 2 minutes, we're gonna pay you whatever, you're in it for 2 minutes, you're really not gonna be anything, we kind of just want to have you in it to help sell the movie. They could absolutely want that, but there's no way that's gonna fly. It's two things. It wouldn't, I believe, it would not fly with him. I don't think I think he knows what fans want. He knows what the movie kind of needs. I don't think he would do it. And number two, the fans. The fans would, and we've talked about this 1,000 times, right? Look, if he's not in a movie and if they are taking that direction where they're just going on without him, people are not going to support it. We've talked about, like Pirates is a dead franchise at this current time without him in it. That's number one. Number two, even if he is in it, like, we're not morons. You know what I mean? Like, if we know based off interviews or leaks, maybe there's leaks that say, hey, he's going to be in it for like 7 minutes, right? If we see that kind of stuff, guess what? We're like, does anything really change if he's in it 2 minutes versus 0 minutes? Not really. He needs to be a substantial part to it. Supporting role can be substantial, right? So, we're not morons. I think we could figure that out. And I would, again, optimistically, and maybe I'm just gullible, I would hope like Disney understands that. Now, Disney has been awful, and they've made really all the wrong moves with so many movie franchises over the last long time. So I don't have like immense confidence that the movie would be all that great, but you can hope. I can hope for my favorite franchise to be okay, right? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.